Okay, one of the guys suggests I do a video response to this TikTok trend called Drizzle Drizzle. So first, this young lady is going to explain what that is.
Okay, Drizzle Drizzle came from the Sprinkle Sprinkle lady that was a while back. Like, she would basically, her expectations of what she wanted to do when she was dating, like, you're not going to take me to just normal restaurant. You need to take me to a high end restaurant, sprinkle, sprinkle. You're going to open car doors for me, sprinkle, sprinkle. So it was
So it's just women exercising sadism on men. That's what it is. Uh, Guys will say these are impossible demands. Yeah, they're impossible on purpose because it's make you, the whole idea is that you jump through a bunch of hoops and then you get rejected anyway. Okay, so that's the motivation.
that's where the Drizzle Drizzle came from. And it basically started from one of these incel alpha dudes.
How can you be both an incel and an alpha? So Drizzle Drizzle is a response to Sprinkle Sprinkle. Okay, men mocking women.
And so they started making all of these videos that is like, women are going to, I'm not going to pay for dinner, drizzle, drizzle. I'm not going to open doors for you. Women are going to come to me. Women are going to come to my house. So they kind of redid the whole sprinkle, sprinkle thing and used drizzle, drizzle.
Okay, so uh, it used to annoy me a lot when guys would do the ridiculing thing, but now I can understand why. Because men show vulnerability when they just come out and say, this is wrong and I'm against this. And men get treated like dirt when they show vulnerability, right? They told me, cry me a river or touch grass. So by ridiculing it, they're not taking a position of strength, but they are taking themselves out of the vulnerable category, right? So I can see why guys are, it's still ineffectual though. It's still ineffectual. Now, I borrowed this from Men Only Channel, and they have a very pertinent question at the beginning from this woman who's responding to Drizzle Drizzle, which they don't answer actually, right? It says, this woman, why the men's strike won't work.
What are you going to withhold from women in any meaningful way that is going to force us to meet your conditions and demands?
In today's
That's a very good question. And the answer is nothing. Men have no leverage whatsoever. There is no negotiating table, guys. That's what it is. This drizzle drizzle trend is men showing delusion. Well, it's showing some kind of self-respect. It's a step up from MGTOW because at least these guys are admitting they want to deal with women. But it's delusional, right? They're showing some kind of self-regard, like we don't like this, and this is us saying we don't like it. But it's delusional in so much as that these women are not going to change their stripes, right? There is no negotiating table. These women don't give a shit about being with you. Otherwise, you would need to bribe them to be around you in the first place, right? This woman, why is she doing makeup while she's doing it? This is doing your makeup while she's asking this question is the modern day version of filing your nails, right? It's like, this is completely beneath me. And she's right, because there's nothing guys can do because women don't want to be with men, right? And guys do want to be with women. So the answer is nothing. Now, well, men only actually give a proper answer to this.
video, we'll delve into why modern women on TikTok are expressing strong feelings of frustration and anger towards the rapidly emerging soft guy era.
Okay, first of all, uh, it's not modern women. This is just women. They all felt that way all the time. Secondly, they're not frustrated and angry. They're slightly annoyed, right? And to counter it, all they have to do is, like this young lady, make a counter video to Drizzle Drizzle and say, what are you going to do about it? Right. So this guy is posturing.
Movement known as Drizzle Drizzle. By the end of this video, You'll have a clear understanding of what the soft guy era drizzle drizzle movement entails and why it's eliciting such passionate reactions from women. Stay tuned to learn more.
They're not really passionate, though. Even if you got under these girls' skin, that doesn't change anything. It doesn't put you in a position of power. It doesn't get you guys what you want, right?
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell to support the channel. Let's dive in.
Baby, I've been off of social media for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I come back and y'all talking about drizzle drizzle. Soft guy era. I blame you, sprinkle woman. That's who I blame for this. Absolutely. Y'all think that y'all can go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum? You can be in the far right or the far left and not expect men to follow?
Now, this young lady is a typical woman. She's solipsistic. The woman looks at her own personal desires and says, I'm the model for every other woman that exists. She doesn't realize women's motivation of these other women, right? She's happy to be pandered to by men. She's willing to wear the mask, and these other women aren't willing to wear the mask. The mask is one of, yeah, I appreciate all your servitude, when they don't. This woman is actually no different from the women she's complaining to. She has no respect for men. She does not love men, and she wants men to jump through hoops for her. The only difference is she lacks the absolute sadism. She doesn't understand that these other women who are coming out doing sprinkle, don't, not only do they not like men, they actually are exercising sadism. They're saying, I know you want to be with me. Here's the impossible steps you have to jump through. I know you can't do it. So in your face. And because that's not her motivation, she thinks that these other women are delusional. They're not. Lady, whoever you are, they're just have different motivation from you.
Ladies, I want you to understand something very, very quickly. Men follow the trends of women.
No, we don't. Women follow the trends of men. Men try to find out what women want and give it to them. That's not the same as following their trends.
And I wish that if you understood this, that you would know how powerful a woman really is.
Okay, she thinks it's a lack of understanding. These women understand perfectly. This first young lady asks the question, what are you going to do about it, guys? Right? So this woman has this fear that men may not pander to her, but it's not founded on reality.
When women started getting this super independent, I don't need no man mentality, what do men do? They started acting like that women didn't need no man, right? And of course, I'm not talking about all men. I'm just talking about the men who fall into that category. And
this is bullshit. If it wasn't all men, then she wouldn't even make this video. She'd just say, oh, just ignore the guys that don't care about. There's all this other group that will. So she thinks it's all men.
You are INDEPENDENT, right? When you started doing all of that, what did the men do? They started getting a little bit sassier. They started getting a little bit more feminine. And
when she says feminine, in other words, they're not pandering to me. That's what she means. Women are the biggest homophobes in existence. If you don't give them what they want, they call you gay. Gay is bad.
Again, that's because men follow the trends of women. So when you get to the point of talking about sprinkle, and using men for money and not loving them, right? And not wanting to have actual relationships with them.
Exactly. These women are coming right out and saying, I'm not interested in you. And this is what you have to do. It's an act of sadism, lady. Right.
But them just taking care of you, them just tricking on you.
But they're also not wearing a mask. They're being honest about what women's actual intentions are. This woman, her intentions are just the same as theirs. It's just that she is willing to wear the mask. There's no third kind of woman, guys. There are two kinds, the ones that wear the mask and the ones that don't wear the mask. This is a woman who's willing to wear the mask. But she's essentially no different from the women she's talking to.
Essentially, what did you think was going to happen? They were going to follow the trend. Ladies, I wish you understood that if you wanted men to act a certain type of way, that you have the power to control that. And that's all I got to say about this.
And she's right. And they still do. Again, lady, you just don't want to admit that other women have some differences from you. You are not the model for women. And you don't want to admit that women are nasty people, that these women are working on the whole motivation is sadism, right? Now, we'll see. Do these guys have anything to say about this?
Y'all be safe.
Men aren't just following trends set by women. They're adapting to the evolving landscape of relationships. Here's the thing. Men aren't just looking to avoid being taken advantage of. They're seeking genuine connections.
Well, at least this channel has that right. They're saying men are looking for genuine connections. Obviously, these women aren't, though, men only. The women's genuine connections are with one another. The men, they don't give a shit about it at all. So what are you going to do to change this? Like this first lady here at the very beginning, when she asked, what are you going to do about it? Right?
No one wants to feel like they're only valued for what they can provide financially or materially. But when men voice their standards, it seems to stir up controversy. There's this intriguing double standard at play. Women rightly advocate for equality.
Now, these fools say that women rightfully advocate for equality. So you're trying to say that men were keeping women down. See, so this channel is a failed channel from the very beginning. All right. He's giving into the false frame.
Yet sometimes, when men assert their own standards, it's met with resistance.
Also, men aren't asserting standards. Them making these ridiculing videos doesn't assert anything. It doesn't make their standards. These women aren't going to go for them, right? These women, if the man says, this is what I want from you, and a woman refuses, then it's over. It's over. So these guys are delusional.
It's like women want the power to define their own expectations, which is great. But there's pushback when men do the same. I love this movement as long as it suits my narrative. It's interesting, right?
Okay, so these guys are delusional. Matter of fact, we'll get right here.
An eyelid at this stuff. I mean, think about it. If men started dishing out the same treatment they're getting, it'd be a whole different story.
How could men dish out the same treatment? In order to do that, women would have to desire to want to be with men, and men would have to desire not to be with women. But that's not the case, right?
Does this mean all women are inherently narcissistic? Well, maybe not. But
what if they weren't, then you wouldn't be making Drizzle Drizzle wouldn't exist. Guys would simply go to the women that are not narcissistic and actually like men for themselves. Drizzle Drizzle exists because this is the way women are, all of them.
But it's kind of funny how riled up they get when their own logic gets flipped on them. Can't take a taste of your own medicine?
But you haven't given them a taste. These women aren't being strung along and then rejected. That's what they're doing to the men. The men can't even get these women into the same room. So, dude, you're posturing.
Huh? Accountability? That's a tough one for some. It's like they can't handle looking in the mirror for once. And hey, if you're...
What it is, these women, it's not that they're looking in the mirror. They're annoyed that these guys don't know their place. This mocking is men not knowing their place. That's what Drizzle Drizzle is. It's men making fun of women who are making fun of men, right? But but it's not a mirror, right? These women are getting annoyed, and all they have to do is make these response videos. They make these response videos where the woman says, well, what are you going to do about it?
Feeling like the dating scene's a bit bleak, I hear you. Maybe it's time to grab that passport and head over to Europe. Hot European women are apparently on the lookout for guys like us.
Okay, that is delusional. If this was the case, then again, Drizzle Drizzle wouldn't even exist. Guys would just immediately go out to Europe. The European women are exactly the same as North American women. So, okay, these guys are delusional. So I'm going to bring it right back here again. And this woman's going to pose the question, which they didn't answer.
What are you going to withhold from women in any meaningful way that is going to force us to meet your conditions and demands?
That's a perfectly good question. And there was no answer to this in this video, right? Because men have no drizzle drizzle is a dead end. That's what I have to say about drizzle drizzle. More posturing and more delusion. Okay. Goodbye.